Good morning, Dr. Price here. I wanted to talk a little bit today about symptoms. We rang in our new year with 2 kids throwing up. Oh, it was horrible. But I wanted to tell you the story real quick because it kind of resonates and rings true with everything that we talk about on this blog. Went to bed New Year's Eve. We had gone out to the beach and the kids and I had played some football and tackled around a little bit. We all ate dinner together. Just a typical day. I went to bed that night and Zoe, my oldest daughter, she's 9 years old, started saying her stomach hurt a little bit. We didn't think a whole lot of it, it wasn't a big deal. She went to bed and went to sleep, no problem. About 1:30 in the morning, she's at the side of my bed saying, Daddy, wake up. I threw up in my bed. So I got up and I went in there and sure enough, she threw up all over her bed. It was on the floor, it was everywhere. So we changed her sheets, got her ready, got her cleaned up. And whenever the kids are sick, I will sleep on the couch because they feel more comfortable that way. So I'll sleep out there where I can hear them because where our bedroom is, we can't hear anything. So I slept out on the couch. Well, 15 minutes later, she was throwing up again. So I was in there with her and, helping her get through it and everything. She threw up from 1:30 to 5:30 every 15 minutes. And of course, it got to where it was just dry heaves and she was having a really hard time. We didn't give her anything, no medication obviously, nothing to help suppress the vomiting because we knew that there was something going on in her system and her body was trying to get it out. It was a natural response. So in actuality, the symptom is a good thing. It was forcing whatever was in her body out. So she threw up, like I said, until about 5:30 in the morning, and finally she started not throwing up anymore. So we started giving her little sips of water and she was able to hold those in. She didn't feel good, but she was able to hold those in. Well, about 7 o'clock in the morning, Phoenix comes out, Dad, my stomach hurts. I'm like, oh no. Sure enough, he starts throwing up. So now we've got Zoe, who is no longer throwing up, and Phoenix, who just started throwing up. Now he only threw up a couple times and it wasn't as frequent as Zoe did. And that's typically how Zoe's body will respond. She gets sick and typically she'll throw up and then she's fine. So he threw up a couple times. Again, no medications, nothing to treat it, just to kind of let their bodies run their course. And after he threw up for a couple times, about noon that day, neither one of them threw up anymore. They did spend the rest of that day in bed and the next day in bed. Never had a fever, never had anything that was indicative of a major problem. Not that a fever is a major problem, but nothing that was indicative of that. They were just very, very tired. And my point in saying this is, it's scary when your kids are sick. It's scary when you're sick, when you start throwing up or something. But a lot of times, it's the body's defense mechanism to fight whatever it is that's in the body that they need to get out. Now, I don't know what it was that caused this. I don't know if they had a little virus, if it was something they ate. I don't know what caused it. We couldn't find a common link between the two of them, so I think it was probably a little bit of a virus. It kept Kelly away from him because she's pregnant, kept Lorelai away from him because she's young, let the two of them, stay in their rooms for a couple days, and they're fine. 2 days later, after a lot of rest, a lot of fluids, craving a lot of water, they're fine and they healed, and their body did what it was supposed to do, and they're strong and they're healthy. So my point in saying this is kind of twofold. The first thing is, sickness is not necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes our body will be exposed to something that it needs to rid itself of. Vomiting is a very, very strong sign of the body ridding itself of something. A fever is a very strong sign of the body overcoming something, and I've got a video on fevers. If you want to type in fever in the search bar, you can go back and find out when a fever is a concern or not. A cold is a body's defense mechanism. When the body starts producing a lot of mucus in the sinuses, that helps get antigens or whatever's causing the problem out of the body. It also protects the body. Your mucous membranes protect the body and help trap incoming antigens. So all these things that we're trained to suppress it's not necessarily a good thing to suppress them. And I always tell patients, let your body run its course. Now there does come a point where if it's gone on too long or something starts moving into your lungs, or there are different things that you want to, have to be concerned about. And if you're ever trying to let your body run its course and you get concerned about something, feel free to call me. And I'll be glad to talk with you and see if it's something that you need to try to control the symptoms. But for the most part, your body can run its course. And with the subject of vomiting, what you want to be concerned about with that is with adults, at about a 48-hour mark, if you haven't been able to hold down any fluids or if you stopped urinating about 48 hours after you started vomiting, Or if you start having signs of distress or something like along those lines, then you may want to seek medical help because you can get dehydrated. With the child, it's a 24-hour mark. So as soon as Zoe threw up at 1:30, I started that clock. And as soon as she could keep it down, we had her taking sips of water and sips of fluid. She never stopped urinating. And that's one of the signs that you'll know if you're dehydrated. If you're urinating, then your body has enough water, or enough fluid. So anyway, yeah, symptoms are not always bad. I don't know what it was that caused this, but the kids healed up. We rang in the New Year's with 2 sick kids, but you know, they're doing much better now. And just something for you to think about in the future when you're exposed to something, or yourself or one of the kids becomes sick. You know, contemplate letting your body run its course. Let the body beat it on its own. Your body will be stronger for it. If it was a virus, they now have the antibodies to the virus. If it was a bacterial infection, they now have the antibodies to the bacteria. If it was food poisoning, they got that food out of there. Whatever it was, it's handled. So something to think about, and we'll see you next time for the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.